Alright, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Son of the living power, the Messiah, which these are the true names of the Most High and His only begotten Son, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, and Lashon Kodash, which means holy language. Also want to give double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings unto the elect, and salute and shalom to the fellow laborers in His truth. Again, all praises and honor and glory be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. This is the brother Zechariah from the tribe of Judah from Maryland. Right, in this lesson, I'm going to be touching on the parable of the sower, which is mentioned in the book of Matthew chapter 13. Where I ain't going to touch on the whole parable. I ain't going to touch on everything. I just want to, get a few points from it. And, Lord willing, we can, receive edification. Right? And Lord willing, this video is edifying to you, listeners, if you will. Right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter. Matter of fact, before I get Matthew, I want to get a scripture real quick. It's the book of Matthew chapter 22 verse 14. Many are called, but few are chosen. Alright, so many are called, man. And when you go into the other parable, which is the fish net cast into the sea, in this parable, it mentions a fish net being cast into the sea, gathering the good and the bad. And the good being cast into vessels, and the bad being cast into back into the sea, or being destroyed. Now that represents what? The fish net represents the word, the gospel, and the sea represents the world, the earth. Now the good represents the elect, which means chosen in the Greek. Right, because it's prophesied that there will be a chosen few on this earth, and there's a lot of prophecies, and so many scriptures, man. Not everybody gonna be saved, man. At the end of the day, Now the bad represents the 2/3. So ultimately, at the end of the day, this word will be published amongst the nations, and many will receive this word. Or shall I not say receive, but hear this word. Many will hear this word. Many will, come across this truth. Come across this, form of teaching. And many will, believe certain things. Many will take up, the identity of being Israelites. But not many will be saved, but only few will be saved. Right now, seeing Kyrie Irving or Ivering, whatever his name is, and Kanye speaking about black people being the real Jews, speaking about black people being Shemites and stuff like that. A lot of people are going to be subscribing to Hebrew Israelism, which is ultimately a term that the so-called white man came up with, right? And the reason why I use that term is because a lot of people will subscribe to that religion, man. A lot of people will subscribe to that religion in these last days, probably. But the scripture says many are called, but few are chosen. Right, so you're gonna have a lot of Israelites out here that gonna have the I am Israelite, hat on, and I am Israelite shirt on. They gonna have the shirt fringes on. But these men ain't chosen, man. These men are not true, man. These men are not sincere. Right, the Lord don't really want these men, and you gotta acknowledge that, man. There's categories of characters, man, in the so-called Israelite community, in the world, man. For many are called, but few are chosen. Right now, the parable I was going to go into is basically, basically the Lord Yahweh Shai, basically, showing us different characters that's gonna be in this Israelite community, man. Which, when I say Israelite community, maybe you ain't listen to my other videos, but when I say Israelite community, I'm basically using the term to lump every Israelite camp, no matter what your doctrine is, into one. I don't feel like naming all these Israelite camps, man, or what doctrine you preach. So I'm just say Israelite community, which in this Israelite community, right, in this parable, Yahushua is going to be telling us about different characters in this Israelite community, so let's go into it. The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 1, it says, "The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside." And this, when I was meditating on this the other day, it was funny, and you're gonna see, right? So you're gonna hit verse 2. It says, "And great multitudes were gathered together unto him." And the funny, when you really think about it, these great multitudes, when they say multitudes, it's speaking about a lot of people basically listening to him while he preached. While he's sitting on the by the seaside, there was a lot of people attending to him, basically observing him and standing about him, trying to listen to him, or about to listen to him. And when you really think about it, as we read, you gonna understand that this multitude probably ain't a lot. This a 1/4, or not 1/4, but 3/4 of this multitude ain't gonna be saved. When you really think about it, when you really get understanding, verse 2, it says, "And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore." And as we read, you're gonna learn that there's probably few in that great multitude that's only gonna truly listen, that's only gonna truly receive this word, that's only truly gonna be saved. So it don't matter how many people watch these videos, only few gonna be saved, man. It don't matter how many people, are, how many viewers, how many subscribers you got. You gotta understand that only few is gonna be saved, man. So while Yahushua was, by to preach, he was probably looking at this multitude, and he probably already knew that this multitude were a lot of people in this multitude was not going to be saved, man. He probably already knew this person, he gonna act like he believed and fall out, and he probably already knew all that, I believe he did. Yahushua, he knew the hearts. Yahushua was given power and authority in heaven and in earth, But verse 3. Let me stop rambling on. It says, verse 3, it says, "And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow." Now Yahushua, he is that sower. Also the prophets, the apostles, the teachers, the preachers that's here today on this earth are those sowers as well. Verse 4 says, "And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up." Now that's one an example of a person or a type of character that's going to be in this Israelite community. Now the interpretation, the explanation of that scripture is this. Let's jump down to Matthew chapter 13, verse 18. Now, and when you read Matthew chapter 13, you're gonna find out that Yahweh Shai, he taught this parable, or he spoke this parable, and later on he's going to explain the parable. Verse 18, and it's the explanation of that parable, right? Verse 18 says, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart." Right, and we see that on the streets, and this is a thing that's being fulfilled, that's being performed. This parable is being performed, it's being fulfilled. I see it, man. The prophets, the teachers, and the apostles that go out there in the highways, in the byways, in the public places, on the street corners that preach this word, and a person may come up and listen for a few minutes and for a few seconds, and somebody may come up to the spot and make a ruckus and distract this person that's trying to hear. Now this person leave and go back into fuckery, man. And that's a prime example of what the devil coming in and taking away that word which was sown in his heart. It says, "When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receives seed by the wayside." So you have that type of character that hear right, but understand not. But the thing that which was sown in his heart was taken away. So you can hear for a few minutes. You can hear. You can come across this truth. But that truth could be taken away from you, man. It's like receiving a gift, and that gift being taken away from you. And that happens, man. Right? And I seen videos where brothers will be preaching and teaching the word in the public places, trying to teach a person or brother or sister, and then a damn crackhead, a damn junkie will come up and just distract everybody that's trying to listen. A damn cop will come up and distract everybody that's trying to listen. Or a damn fight break out. Right there when brothers trying to preach. There ain't no coincidence, man. It's a spiritual battle, man. And this really do happens, man. Or what else happens? When a man trying to hear the prophets out there in the public, prophets out there preaching, and a man with his woman may come up and listen, for a few minutes. Then the woman, all of a sudden, she getting agitated. All of a sudden, she getting mad. Now she's trying to drag her man away from these prophets, man. Come on, I want to go home and stuff like that. Hey, that's a prime example of that as well. And I seen it with my own eyes, man. So there's times where, spiritually, in a spiritual standpoint, Satan will take that which was sown in a man's mind, man. If you're not part of the elect, you could lose that which you receive so suddenly. And you can lose that quickly, man. Right, so let's go back, verse 5. It says, "Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away." So this is another type of character in this Israelite community. So you're gonna have some that receive this word, but have no deepness in them. Now let's go into the explanation of that scripture. Right, let's go to verse 20. It says, "But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and with joy receive it, So you can hear this word, verse 21. It says, yet he had not root. It says, yet have he not root in himself. So basically what that's concerning is you not really being for this faith, not really being for this truth. You gotta really be for this truth. Now what do that sun represents, right? Let's go into it. It says, but endure for a while, for when tribulation or persecution ariseth, that's that sun that's gonna attempt to scorch you. That represents that sun. It says, arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. So let's go back to that scripture. I'm gonna break it down. Right? It says, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. So you're gonna have some Israelites that's gonna hear this word, but they ain't gonna really be for it. They ain't gonna really be deep in it, man. They ain't gonna really believe. They ain't gonna really have faith. They ain't gonna really be grounded in his faith, nor are they gonna really truly ever receive this word as well. They ain't really gonna be established, rooted, grounded. Because when a seed is planted, after a while, there's gonna be roots. A seed is gonna grow, root, man. A seed have to have root, man, in order for it to survive. But if you have no root, if you ain't really for this, you ain't really established and rooted. You don't really have that faith. You ain't really have that zeal. You ain't really have that strong belief and conviction. You ain't really learn. You just not really for it. You're gonna fall under pressure, right? It says because they had no deepness of earth. It says, and when the sun was up, which what that sun represents, pressure, man, trouble, adversity, persecution. Persecution, man. Tribulation, which in fact when you go to the word tribulation, it means to press upon, pressure. So when that, and in this world, people liken tribulation or adversity to fire. Gold being tried in fire. Everybody know that, that symbolism, if you will. It says, and when the sun was up, they were scorched. So if you don't have that root in you, if you're not really deep in this thing, and his word not really in you, if you ain't really for this, and you ain't really learned, you don't really got that faith, you're gonna fall under pressure. So when it's time for you to die for this faith, you ain't gonna really die. You're gonna switch up. When it's time for you to die for the word of Yahweh Shai, you gonna forsake your belief, man. You gonna forsake your faith. When the day of temptation comes, or not the day, but the hour of temptation comes, and they give you that, that ultimatum, receive the mark, that chip implant or die, you're gonna receive that MOTB, the mark of the beast, man, and forsake your faith, and a lot of Israelites that call themselves Israelite in these last days, they're gonna take that mark, man. They're gonna take the MOTB, man, and they're gonna forsake their faith in these last days, man, because it's gonna get too hard for them. This a hard walk. Scripture speaks about scripture speaks about, I forgot what it says, kind of forgot. Damn, I forgot. I can't really speak on it because I forgot, but basically, ain't gonna be no cakewalk, man. It's a difficult walk. Think about the apostles. Think about Yahweh Shai. So many scriptures I could, touch on. But, that's a lesson for a whole nother day. It says, when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had not root, they had no root. They withered away. And really, that root is your faith. Really, when you really think about that, root is your faith, man. Your belief. And you ain't really for this. You ain't really believe. You ain't really have faith. And you gonna get scorched, man. You gonna fall under pressure. You gonna melt away. When adversity comes, when you gonna have to die, when you gonna have to be faithful unto death. When you gonna have to forsake your family, we gonna have to forsake your job for the faith, for salvation. You ain't gonna do it. You gonna forsake your faith for these things. That's why it speaks about he that try to save his life shall lose it. He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. In fact, let's go into the word, or let's go back to 21. This is, yet he had, Maverick verse 20, it says the explanation of that scripture. It says, but he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and with joy receiveth it. Yet he had not root in himself. So you gotta have that root, man. This word gotta really be in you, and you gotta really be for this. You gotta really believe, man. This is but dorf for a while, basically endure for a while. Now that word dorf, and let's go into that word for a while. A while, if you will. It's a simple word, a basic word, which is from a Greek word.
Strong's G 4340. Praskairos.
Which means for a season. Right, so you're going to have seasonal Israelites, man. You're going to have Israelites that's going to be in this thing for a season, for a moment. But when persecution comes, when adversity comes, when trouble comes, they're gonna forsake this thing, man. They're going to forsake this thing. Because it's prophesied in these last days that there will be persecution, man. That there will be martyrdom. That there will be people that will die for the faith. It's prophesied that, there will be adversity against the church, man. Let's go into the root word, or that Greek word.
Strong's G 2540. Kairos.
The right time, due measure, a measure of time, a larger or smaller portion of time, a fixed and definite time, opportune, a seasonable time, the right time. So really, you're gonna have characters in this Israelite community that's in this thing for for the right time, man. For fashion, it's a trend too. So it's another trend in the black community. They gonna be seen as a trend, as a fashion. Because Islam, that whole Islam thing, that's a trend, man. And a lot of people they seen the Israelite thing as a trend as well, right? And they're seasonal Israelites. They ain't really for it, man. So when it's time to for them to prove their faith, they gonna fall, man. They're gonna wither. They're gonna be destroyed, man. Because they gonna fail. They're gonna show that they're false. They ain't really sincere. Right? But like I said, I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. Lord willing, lessons, edifying the ones to the elder apostles, great most on the peace and blessings unto the elect, and salute shalom to the fellow livers in this truth, and all praise and honor and glory be to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah Shalom.